What is going on, everyone? And welcome back to another episode of the Hockey Lab podcast. Coach A here with
Coach Guards.
Ryan.
Nice haircut.
Thanks, bud. See that?
Look at that.
Catch flight.
Hey.
So this place is actually awesome. Black Rose around the corner in Richmond Hill. If you're looking for a good barber, finding a good barber north of the 401 is not easy in my opinion. But the first time I went in, I had this guy, really good haircut, but he cut my ear like late in the cut, and then I think he was trying to play it off like he didn't cut my ear. So he's like trying to clean it up without me noticing, which is hilarious because I can feel it just leaking down the back of my neck at this point. He's like, "Hey man, I'm so sorry." I'm like, "It's okay, man." Do you see these things?
It's like the story. I took my kid to Halliburton and we went downtown Halliburton. I think it might have been just around COVID time. So we had to get a haircut and it was an old man, God bless his soul, because I think he's passed, and everybody in Halliburton knew this guy. And he was going around with the thing and cut his ear, and he's like,
he cut Egan's ear?
Cut the ear, and it was bleeding everywhere. He's like, you got a mosquito bite there, I think. and my kid looks at me, he's like, "Dad, I didn't have a mosquito bite. He cut my ear."
That's awesome. That's awesome.
So, God bless him, though. Everybody in Halliburton town knew him.
Well, yeah.
I think he's passed on since, but he was an older gentleman. And I think he had this was the end of he was getting a lot of clients.
Of course, COVID.
Yeah. And
no one's cutting
he was
hair.
getting tired and got him on the ear a little bit. So, blame around the mosquito bite.
It happens.
So
it happens. Well, at least it's all good. Oh, thank you. Four Nations. Okay, we got a few things to talk about today.
Yeah, let's get after it.
Let's start there. What do you think? I take back what I said at the beginning. I said maybe you shouldn't play. You have an obligation to your team. I don't feel that way anymore.
Oh, about joining the best on best?
I think if I look at the number of comments that I saw, people saying I'm a hockey fan now because of that game on Saturday, that reiterated
first 9 seconds
to me just how important. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean it's
for the growth of the game.
Yeah, I mean, we even kind of didn't really get the great glory days. I think we did a little bit, but you hear your parents and, older generations talk about the goal that they scored and Mario and 72's goal, and then Mario and Wayne and Esposito and all that stuff. And it's like it brought the country together. I mean, you see pictures of kids sitting in class watching it.
Yeah.
I mean, and if today's game was in the afternoon, I would hope that they would do that.
Well, that's my only gripe, I guess. Yeah. My only gripe is that the game is so late at night.
Correct.
It's my primary
on a Thursday.
On a Thursday.
Yeah.
8. By the time puck drop, it'll probably be 8:25.
Yeah, and I think they're going to reassess this probably, and with such great thing. But I mean, I really if you're not a fan after those first 3 fights and the way it went down. I was talking to one of my buddies, and Canadian guy obviously wants Canada to win, but the Tkachuk brothers, that family has brought hockey back to a forefront. If ESPN and the American countries and they can't get on board with these two guys,
new school skill, old school grit.
Yeah. Right. And not even what I love about them too is it's they're skilled, but it's little things that they do, right? That maybe people don't realize, the board play by Matthew or just in front of the nets, the tips, the screens, the hands they have there. It's not flashy, but it gets the job done.
Well, they trained with us before COVID for a few years. And I remember the first time Brady was on the ice, Matty had been with us for a year, and then Brady came the next year to stay and train with him. And 3-on-3 in zone at the end of a practice, and the puck gets chipped up over the back of the net. I think guys trying to wrap it around, gets chipped up. Brady heads it to his backhand and taps it into the net.
Yeah.
And this was his first skate on the ice, and it was just such a crafty little play.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, which brings me I was watching that first game against Sweden, Canada, and what amazed me the most was the amount of pucks guys knocked out of the air. The puck was bouncing. It looked I don't know what was weird, but everything was knocked down. Or there was a guy threw a bad pass, knocked down. You talk to Landy, and Landy's when Landy talks about Makar, he's you play with a guy like that or McKinnon, and you just get spoiled. You just throw it in his vicinity, and he makes it look good,
just
right?
Needs to be close.
Yeah, just close. And then you'll go down and play maybe with, not a skilled player, and still a great NHLer, but it's you miss them, and they're they can't get it. But Makar, McKinnon, they don't miss pucks.
Yeah.
And I think it's a little thing that you need to work on, and you need to be able to take pucks on your back and off your feet, knock them down out of the midair.
Yeah.
And it's a little skill that maybe we don't have time to work on, but for me it was incredible. I noticed it the amount of pucks. Now maybe bad passes or bad ice, but they were knocking everything down. It was incredible. So.
I know Gary was pretty fired up too. We were downtown watching the game. The place was electric.
We were out of our seats in the house. We had a bunch of people over watching.
That's awesome.
And after the first one went down and the second one, and then the pace of the first period was incredible. You knew they couldn't keep that up.
Yeah, of course.
You could see that it kind of dropped down. Now, The biggest thing is like, what's going to happen tonight?
What's your pick?
Well, I mean, like I said to you before, I think it's really hard to beat two teams back to back in a short
Condensed
tournament.
timeline like this.
Yeah, like when you play them that close, I just think it's just hard. But maybe injuries aside, but I think you got it's going to I think Canada is going to pull it out. The only difference is if Hellebuck stands on his head.
Yeah,
that's it.
Makar back in the lineup.
Makar is going to help huge. I think
McAvoy's out.
I think, Matthews and maybe the Tkachuk guys are a little bit under the weather or hurt. I think Canada's found some lines that kind of mix well.
Yep.
And I think our boy's going to step to the forefront. I think it's
97's having a big night.
I think he's having a night. I think
he scored that goal.
Yeah, I think it's a coming out. I think it's his time to take the stage.
Right.
87's amazing. 29's amazing.
Canada.
But he's the new lead the charge.
Well, he scored that goal, and then I had my phone in my pocket, and I could just hear it go bzz,
yeah.
bzz, bzz,
yeah.
bzz.
I just think
People are excited.
he needs to take the reins and just shoot pucks and go to the net. I mean,
yeah, I'm predicting. Yeah, I would agree with you. I'm predicting he puts on a performance tonight.
Yeah, and I mean maybe he doesn't get any points, but he just pushes the pace and his aggressiveness towards the net, and is just the only thing I don't like a little bit, and I think in these tournaments is the refs don't want to make a difference
too much.
Yeah, and like we talked about it before.
A few weeks ago. Yeah.
There should be penalties every time he touches
every
the puck.
play.
Like interference on McAvoy, hook maybe, all those ones.
Yeah, yeah, 100%.
It is what it is. He's learning. He knows how to play through it. He plays through it in the playoffs. But yeah, I think he's gonna have a night.
All right, can't wait. So we're picking Canada. Give us a score. Come on.
I'm saying 4-2.
Empty netter or 4-2?
No, I'm saying 4-2.
4-2?
Yeah.
All right.
I think they get 4.
4?
Yeah.
I like it.
Now, could be totally wrong. This is nervous when you actually get caught on camera saying this stuff.
You said
that. You were totally wrong.
You're feeling like the weatherman right now,
yeah.
eh? Yeah.
The weatherman's been pretty easy call for the last 5 days here.
I love it, man. I love the snow.
It's great.
It's amazing. I think what a year for outdoor rinks, backyard rinks.
Amazing.
Lots of shoveling.
Kids outside tunneling, doing stuff, sledding.
Yeah.
It was great. I think it's been great. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm excited. I can't wait for my kids to get a bit older so we can do more of that. Kenny's out there a bit, but she's such a princess that we don't do tons of it. Pick me up, Daddy.
Oh, yeah.
Pick me up, Daddy. So
no, it's good. It's what winter should be like.
That's awesome. Okay, moving on. Next item on the docket here. This is a conversation that we had internally. We got a lot of kids coming up on their draft.
Yep.
And they're starting to feel the pressure. And we've noticed it as they've come in here. They're tired, a little run down. Obviously, end of season, into playoffs. This is crazy too. Your season could be done this weekend.
Yeah, I mean, that's another topic we could talk about. I mean, I think the GTHL's got to really reassess what's going on here. I mean, they're supposedly the best league in Ontario or in Canada, but I have buddies that didn't make the playoffs. They're done hockey. They have a 6-month off season.
I know.
What are we doing here?
I couldn't agree more.
Why are we jamming it together? We start September. I like that, or even start a little mid-September late.
Yep.
And then let's play till at least Easter. I remember playing till Easter. Now maybe it was different leagues and there's different tournaments.
Yeah, we used to have play downs.
Yeah, we used to have an Easter tournament. I remember it was a big event. It's not even end of Feb.
I know.
What are you doing?
Yeah, it's over.
The OMHA, I mean, has 10-game playoffs. Now, I don't agree with everybody making the playoffs. I think there has to be some, compete throughout the season and maybe take a top 8, bottom 4 and have the bottom 4 playoff, or maybe the bottom 4 in the OMHA playoff against the bottom 4 in the G or something.
That's not
give them something.
Something to play some hockey. 100%.
Yeah, and then now kids are moving teams. So if you're not coming back on this team, well, why are you going to be around, right?
Right. Then you get into this situation where you have no one at practice, no one at skates, just no effort.
I feel bad.
Yeah, it's an awkward time. Okay, so we'll get to that, which I think is a good conversation. But let's chat about kids going into the draft. Do you remember when it was your year?
No, I don't. No. Maybe I'm getting old. I don't know if I've told you the story. I remember going down to Maple Leaf Gardens, not thinking I was getting drafted. My parents didn't even go with me, and I was picked in top of the second round.
And you
shocked.
didn't think you were getting drafted at all?
Well, I didn't even think it. I just went down with a buddy.
Who you're like, you're going to get drafted? I'll come down and support.
I can't remember who I went down with, but yeah, my dad didn't come, my mom didn't come.
No way.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it wasn't big. It wasn't a big thing. Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe it wasn't as hyped up as it is now. But I can see you guys getting tired.
You're meeting teams. You're going down. You're checking.
Do they do that now?
Oh yeah.
Like the OHL teams
Yeah, touring.
interview?
Yeah, interviewing the teams.
Wow.
Bring them out, tour the facility. Try and sell it a little bit. I was.
Well, I think that's changed too now, right? Like you're trying to sell it before because kids were going to choose either to go to school or not.
College
Now
or not.
everybody's going
To the O.
the O.
Yeah.
One way or another, you're making it somehow.
Yep.
You're going to try to get there.
Yeah.
So I think that's an easy pick. You're not going to have to like.
Do you think you'll see more kids report to whoever they get drafted by then?
I think you'll have more kids get drafted in the order that from
They should get drafted.
Yeah, or like
Yeah.
what the team's looking for.
Yeah, but you won't have first round draft pick slide to the 5th because he's going to college.
Right, because
then changes.
I still think that'll happen.
You think so? Yeah.
I think the agents have a lot to do with that.
Right.
Like it happened when Royce did it, right? And,
Yeah.
But I think they'll still pick him now because they see all these guys coming back from the BCWHL and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
But it's a stressful time, and I think it's sad that 15, 16-year-olds have stress like that, and that tires them out in that way, right?
Yeah.
But it's become such a big, moving industry. So
For sure. I think the big message is that if you're drafted first or second or 5th or 12th, it doesn't really matter. Like, it doesn't really matter. Going first overall or third overall is pretty much irrelevant to your career. Like,
yeah,
you're getting picked early no matter what, and you still have to show up and play hockey.
So you would remember Connor when he would have got drafted to the O, right?
Yep.
He was already training here. Like,
Yeah.
back then, would you have just said like, this guy's generational?
Yeah, I mean, I think he's like a little bit unique.
Right.
In
So
that category.
I think Spezza was the same.
Yeah.
So I mean,
Exceptional status.
yeah, like I think, Misa's kind of come through now, but it's been a long time for that kid, right? Like
Yeah.
he's now finally, after this many years, so he's gotten better, grown better, gotten stronger. He's put his time in. So I really think like this is not the end, right? Don't think of this as like
Right.
it isn't the end. It's a beginning, but it's also like if you don't get picked, like you picked in the 3rd round or 4th round,
Yep.
like if you really put the time in and you get better and you get stronger and you get mentally more innate in what you have to do and who you are, what type of player you're going to be, then everything's still open. So
It's also going to be really hard to play as a 16-year-old,
very hard,
which means that the next tier down is going to get better.
yeah, which scares me a little bit. I think it's got to clean up a little bit. People have never had to go there and see what it looks like, but
What do you mean?
well, like everybody would go out west,
Oh yeah, no, it's going
So
to change.
what is
drastically.
the OJ
Ontario
look
Junior
like?
Hockey League's gonna
What's
change.
that look like, right?
Yeah.
Because all you hear is about guys getting traded at left, right, and center
Yep.
and moved every 2 weeks. Like,
Yep. No.
I don't want that for my kid.
No, I think that's going to change drastically.
Yeah.
I think you're going to have true feeder systems.
I hope the OHL teams will, make, sort of like they'll grab a team and say, okay, you're our team. This is how we want you to coach. It's not about, winning as much about development, and we want you to develop these kids for the next level. And here's our system. Here's how we play. Here's what we believe in. Here's how our goalies need to be trained. Here's how our D need to be trained. We want, if you want big guys that just shoot off the glass, that's what we want. Or we want puck moving guys. And I think you can really kind of get that, system in place now.
Right. I think they've changed the rule now where you have essentially an unlimited amount of call-ups. You can send a kid up and down 55 times now.
To the O.
That's what they were trying to work towards.
Okay.
Yeah. So, historically you only had X number of like move options.
Yeah.
So maybe it was 7. I'm not sure what the
Right,
number was,
yeah.
but they've made it unlimited basically.
Yeah.
So it becomes a true feeder system.
It's going to take some years to figure out here,
Yeah,
right?
totally.
But I mean, back to your first original thing, like, so how you deal with stress. I mean, what from a off ice standpoint, the kids. I mean, I think we're all going to hit on the same points, but it's sleep, rest,
Yeah.
good nutrition.
Yeah. Controllables. Like we talk about it a lot. Just focus on things that you can focus on and try and let the noise drift to the side. You can focus on the way that you prepare, the effort that you put in. Those are kind of the main things.
Right, and then that flips to the on ice side, like we talked about earlier. It's like I can only control what I can do on the ice and how I can be, effective when I'm one of my times out there.
Right.
my 45 to a minute.
Yep.
And I struggled with that for a long time. I would get worked up in big games or nervous, in championship moments. I mean, and special games where like, oh my God, I hope we do this. I hope this guy does. Like, you can't. I'm sorry. You can't control that. Like as a coach, I can't control. I can only prepare you as much as I can prepare you, right?
Right.
So if a guy's getting nervous about his draft status and how the team's going to do and where are we going to finish, or are we going to win a game or not, all you can control is what you do. Be a good teammate, have good body language, have good character.
Yep.
Stewie, a good buddy, like we had him come in and just talk to the team about character and about what scouts or what agents or what people look for, teams.
He works in the National League now.
Yeah, so it's just very important about character, right? Like, and that can be a whole thing, a whole bunch of stuff, right?
Right.
And that's why all these OHL teams are probably meeting with these guys. What type of character is? How is he in school? Does he get rest? Does he eat well?
Yeah.
Is he a good teammate? How is he in the dressing room? Like the things that people don't think about.
For sure. Yeah, we get calls, and it's about, there's two questions that we get asked. Like, one is, is he like a green banana? Like, is there a lot of raw potential there? He just needs to mature.
Right.
That's one question. And then the other one is exactly that. What is he like?
What's his work ethic like?
What's he like as a person?
What's he talk about?
Yeah, because it makes a big difference. Yeah.
Like I'm telling you, these kids know it. Those guys are checking Snapchat. They're checking all that stuff.
Yeah.
How much time does he spend on his phone?
Yeah.
And it's crazy. Like we didn't have that.
Completely different.
Like maybe they called the teacher. Is he a good student?
Is he a good student?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I think just worry about what you can control. If you're being talked about and you're worrying about the draft, so you're in a good spot.
Yeah.
Right. And I still go back to like getting better every day and be a good person, be a really good teammate. I think we lose the team mindset nowadays. I think everything's becoming very individualistic, and it's sad. Maybe it's because we have more guys playing hockey. Maybe it's because open borders. Maybe because a lot of movement. But I still think a good team can accomplish a lot of stuff, right?
Mm-hmm. Well, I was at Brantford's game last Friday, and I had to say it was tons of fun.
Yeah,
like tons of fun. They also ran the score up. Like it was 10-1 probably. I think 10-11, but it was just a fun environment, like good hockey town. Like the barn was loud, it was packed. Yeah. It was exciting.
Yeah, and they probably, to that point about being a good team, right? They played the right way, and everybody gets their candy the odd time, right?
They felt like a real community team, which was fun.
Yeah, oh, that's great.
Yeah,
but I think teamwork's a huge one for me, and I think you see it in the Four Nations Cup too, right? Like I said this to my team the other day, like, and I think what Cooper's message was, and I want to try to get it right, but he's like, everybody, I think he said, everybody's here because you've done something great, right? But not everybody can be great, tonight or something. It was something like that. And he's alluding to the fact that like, you have to take your role on, and you have to, play for the team, and maybe you're going to play 9 minutes a night, or maybe you're going to play 14 minutes a night, right. Or maybe you're going to have to just kill penalties and block shots and finish hits. And I think the guys that accept that, and that's who come together in a quick moment will be successful tonight.
Right. You're playing best of the best, so you're going to have to take a different role.
Yeah.
Makes sense. Yeah. Obviously. I actually didn't realize. I thought Cooper was American, to be honest. I know he's from Prince George, but in my head, I thought he was American.
He's great. I think he's a really good coach. I mean, some guys might not think that, like maybe, I don't know what Stammer thinks about him, but.
I mean, he's coached some crazy players, like that run that they had, like with Tampa. Yeah. Like Stammer, Hedman,
Kucherov,
Vasilevsky, Point, all these guys. So
so he knows, and I think he's got like a big degree too. It's
law, I believe.
Law degree, right?
Yeah, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. So,
but I think you hit it right on the head, right? Like in your team, your role might be this, and when you move to another team or when you get to better players, and it's okay. Yeah. Accept it. Do what you can do.
That is a huge component as you get to the next level, just adjusting. The player that you were before may no longer be the player that you are, right. For sure.
And you see it all the time. You see all these guys that have amazing OHL or, NCAA years, and then they make it to the next level, and they have to adapt and find a different role.
Jake Evans, goal scorer at Notre Dame. Yeah. It's like fourth line checker.
Yeah. In the national playing in the NHL. Yeah. Right? Yeah. I mean, even Chris Tanev had a ton of points in university, and not that he doesn't do it now, but he's found his niche, and he's found what makes him successful and what teams look for. Yeah, I think that's another big thing too as kids is that, and I see it with our guys, is like you have to, I think sooner, as these guys are getting drafted, you got to find your niche, find what you are, what makes you successful, your identity as a player, or how you're going to help your team or make something happen on the ice.
Yeah, because if you're not putting the puck in the net, then you have to do something else.
Yeah, or that could be creating. Mm-hmm. That could be really strong defensively. That could be a physical attribute, like finishing checks, being intimidating as a defenseman to play against.
Dog.
Yeah, hunting pucks,
Yeah, no, it's
creating
true.
turnovers, being smart with the puck, playing on the defensive side. I think all these things are big proponents of what gets you to the next level, and keep working on your skill, keep getting better.
I like it. All right, 4-2 tonight for the boys. Anything else you want to chat about today?
I don't know. We had all these good ideas before, and I can't remember what we were talking about. No, just it is late, but parents
In the season?
No season, but also
the game tonight. Sorry.
tonight. But
Yeah.
I would be like, this is something where hopefully it's
Get a chance to watch it.
yeah, kids can sit up and watch with their parents and experience a national game where you're proud about it and people talk about it. And I know all of us are enjoying it, but for the kids, this is a big maybe an eye opener for some kids. Might change kids. Maybe I'm a baseball kid, maybe I'm a basketball kid, and I watch this. It's like, oh, Mom, I want to play hockey. That's what I want to do. And I'm sure it will be for some people.
Electric game.
Yeah.
The only sport you get to fight in the middle of it.
Yeah.
I think it is.
Does it happen tonight? That's my question to you.
Scrap tonight?
Does somebody go again tonight?
100%.
Right off the bat?
I don't know right off the bat, but someone goes again for sure.
You think?
Yeah, I think so.
Who? Okay, I pick the score. You pick who's going tonight.
Who's going tonight?
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, it's got to be like on the U.S. side. It's just got to be one of the Kachuk brothers for sure. But who's the dance partner? I think Brady is my pick.
Okay.
And who's the dance partner? I don't know.
I thought the guy that fought him stood in there pretty good. Brady.
Sorry? Yeah,
Bennett,
Sam, yeah.
Ooh, Bennett might go again.
It's actually a good one.
There's a good one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think there's any fights tonight.
No, you don't think so?
No.
Too important?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, I can't wait. I'm excited. I'm going to take a nap this afternoon, and I'll be ready to go.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah. Awesome. Thanks, guys.